Okay, so this is day 31 of our 60-day YouTube journey. So we're over halfway there for documenting on YouTube. And today we're in the garage. So for the last year, we have partnered with Fill the Box, which is a textile recycling company that will recycle stuff and give us 20 cents a pound for our adoption. Fantastic company to deal with. Jennifer Tilton has been our main contact there. She's done great. The drivers that we meet with or that are sent to our home to pick up our clothing and textiles are fantastic. So I want you to look behind me. And I want you to understand that that looks like a bunch of trash, right? It's a bunch of trash bags. So we live in Southwest Florida. So some stuff is here. Like people move down here and they bring like their coats and their boots. And then they're like, what do we do with this? They give it to us. Most of this stuff actually came from a community yard sale of a friend of ours that goes to our church. Their community, it's a 55 and up community. They do a yard sale every year. They gave us their cast-offs. And that was about probably 30% of this load. The rest of it comes from our friends and neighbors, of people we go to church with. I have friends that I go to church with that literally every time I'm there, they don't even say hi. They're like, oh, you know who you are. Like, and it's okay. Like, I love you guys too. And I know that you love me, but they're not like, hey, how are you? How was your week? How's life? They're like, oh, I got clothes for you. And they're like, oh, where are you parked? And I'm like, the same place I'm always parked. Car's unlocked. Put it in or I'll come get it. But the things that they accept, so clothing, shoes, some stuff gets resold in Tampa. Some of it gets sent overseas if it's can't be used in a nonprofit thrift store in the States. That's where it goes. So people that have to walk to work, you're providing job security. So they buy the goods from us. Well, buy the goods. They give us money for the goods. Not really buy them, but they give it to us and we can use it for our adoption. So I have a 3-car garage here in Florida. Our air conditioner unit's out here, which freaks me out. Our ceilings, so I'm like, I mean, it's gotta be 12 feet. I should measure. Jeremy and I have talked about this stuff, how tall it actually is, and we don't always agree on things like that. But I think it's like 12 feet, because, I mean, maybe 11 feet. It's a lot, so definitely like a good amount. So 3 cars, technically, of course, you know, you can't really fit 3 cars, but, you know, single. So this is taking up a lot. So most of our loads are between 3,500 pounds and the most we've ever turned into 6,100 pounds. So 20 cents a pound, 5,000 pounds gets you $1,000, which is what we want each time. So if you think you're getting $1,000 a month, so most international adoptions cost around 40 grand. Most domestic adoptions cost around 20 grand. That is a very broad, like our Liberian adoption is going to cost 90 grand probably because of some constraints. And we are adopting 2, not just 1. So I just want you guys to see this. So this is load number 19. Now, when we first started doing this, I had to do flyers. I had to talk about it all the time. Did a lot of videos on Facebook, a lot of social media push. And I don't have to do that anymore. This is the first video. I haven't done any flyer. I haven't asked for anything for this load. Normally what I'll do for the load is let people guess the weight. And then I give out like a gift card prize to whoever guesses the closest, like $50 to Topgolf, $50 to Noonday, which I sell. And 50, like I'll just do that for whoever guesses. When people guess, it spreads around a little bit more. And then they bring me more stuff. So usually the first 72 hours after a load leaves our house, we actually end up with a bigger load. In the first 72 hours, that's when we get most of our stuff. My friend Anna lives in Venice Beach, and she and I are adopting from the same orphanage. She'll meet me halfway between my house and her house and load up my car with stuff that she's collected from her friends. I think she even flew with some stuff in the airplane for one time for me. So I'm going to walk back here. We talked about golf clubs, so they'll take the golf club bags and they're going to take the clubs, but we don't get 20 cents a pound for the clubs. But for like, I had a big sign hanging outside my garage that I had spray painted. It was like a bed sheet size, like king bed sheet size. And I left it out there for a long time. It's totally against the rules for our homeowners association. And the HOA finally found me and they were like, you can't. So they sent me this letter and they were like, you got to take the sign down. You can't have signage. You know, even when we have our house for sale, we can't put a sign here. And I'm like, but it's for a good cause. And they were like, you still have to take it down. And I was like, okay, well, if you have any textile, the next time you check the neighborhood, if you want to drop some textiles, then you know where to find me. They didn't, but they were nice-ish. And I took it down, but Fill the Box sent me this. So they can't tell me I can't have this leaning against my wall. And they haven't said anything about it yet. So this is outside. I did bring it in. I'm going to have some neighbors that kind of have keys to our house while we're gone and some friends, but I really can't, when we're in Africa, I can't store all these textiles. So if you've got bags for me and you've been like, oh, I'm going to get it to her soon, we're going to keep doing this fundraiser probably until I'm dead, because it's just too easy to help adoptive families with cost to do this. If you live in Tennessee, I know a lot of people watching live in Tennessee. If you live in Tennessee, Fill the Box has tons of routes there and drivers there. They can come weekly if you have enough for them to get. This is probably 4,000 pounds, and they're coming to get it next week. So we can still collect. We go to see our friend at Kid to Kid Consignment. Great clothes there. Anything that they can't sell or that they get donated to them. So people will bring stuff in and consign it, and they'll buy it from them. Sometimes it can't be used, and so rather than give it back to the customer who has to haul it back home and figure out what to do with it, Fill the Box lets them donate their items to them, and they find people like us to give it to. And there's some other organizations that they help. So I love my garage. I hate that it's messy, but this is not messy. I had my kids paint on the floor where I wanted the bags to be. The air conditioner is there, so we don't want it to be closed because it doesn't usually drip, but sometimes it'll get clogged. If you live in Florida down here, Southwest Florida, you have to take your shop vac every month out to your air conditioner drain outside and suck the gunk out, or you'll have a problem. But I don't want to risk any of this stuff getting damaged. The bottom layer is actually in like moving totes that you can kind of see the lids are over there. So now that we have turned in over 80,000 pounds of textiles, we used to drive it to Sarasota and drop it there with the driver. Now the driver actually comes to us because I ran out of time. And I can actually collect more if I have an extra day to deal with it than if I drive to Sarasota. And we were doing the Sarasota thing when the kids were still going to actual school instead of homeschooling. So anyway, so golf club bags are good. They're really heavy, and those will help our load a lot. Suitcases are fine. Christmas decorations that are cloth are fine. Nothing bulky that can be broken in large transit. So like stuffed animals are okay, but not like plastic toys that are going to get broken. Bicycles are not okay, obviously. Things that don't transport well, especially if it has to go overseas. So if the suitcases are broken, a couple of suitcases were given us for our travel, so we're keeping those and using those for travel. But you can see sometimes we have to rebag the stuff. That's why you'll see the blue bags if people gave us boxes or whatever. But Fill the Box is an excellent company. So if you're adopting and you need a fundraiser that's free, so you don't have to ask for people for money, you can just ask them for stuff they're going to take to Goodwill anyway. Let me know, because we can get you in touch with Jennifer, and she would love to partner with you. They are expanding throughout the U.S. There are other companies similar. I know that Fill the Box, there's some states they don't have a presence in, but there are other companies that do similar things. So it's there. The opportunity is there. And, it keeps it out of our landfills. The American textile consumption, distribution, and production is not really environmentally friendly, and it's just part of our fast fashion lifestyle. But comforters, crib sheets, shoes, hats, belts, backpacks, anything like that would be great to have. Not really car seats, but actually I've had people give me car seats that, I'll strip them down and put the fabrics in there. I haven't had them tell me no to roller skates. I haven't asked really. Okay, so that's what that does. You can see that big adoption sign hanging in the back of my garage. I used to hang that outside too. So now that we have communicated with our community, what we do with these things and these items, it's really easy. I mean, I go to the chiropractor. They always have stuff for me there. I go to work and people always have bags. There's some daycares that helped us one of the nice local Kim at All Superstars preschool down here in North Fort Myers down the road. She actually would give her families discounts for supporting us in this. If they would bring in, 3 bags of clothes, then she would give them a discount or promotion for their bill for her daycare, where she cares for their kids. So we've had a lot of community support. The ice cream shop down the street did a lot. Sylvia's Ice Cream is an amazing company, amazing family owned mom and pop type business. And they are always helping us with stuff like this. And they allowed their, so if you're in your community and you need like public businesses to help you to be a collection site or get the word out, communities love this. And nothing is more unifying than helping kids that don't have families. So yeah. So that's the Fill the Box video for today. So day 31 of our 60-day YouTube journey. This load will go out next week. We will get a check from Fill the Box on 20 cents a pound. You can do the math. I mean, if you we turned in 80,000 pounds last year. If you turn in 100,000 pounds, what's 20% of 100,000? It's 20,000. And if I can do it, you can do it. We actually stopped fundraising for our own adoption about halfway through the year because we were fully funded, and we actually did other nonprofits. We did some projects for our church. We did several other adoptions. We do give a portion of each of these loads to the Hamilton family who adopts medically fragile kids in Fort Myers. They have their own nonprofit. We give to them with these, and they help us collect as well. So, you know, I mean, there's no reason to not repurpose and recycle and help where we can. So if anybody is out there and they're like, oh, I mean, there's lots of reasons not to adopt, and I don't care if you adopt or not, you do you. But if you're feeling the inspiration to adopt or consider adopting, and your number one reason to not get past that starting gate is money, then you're lying to yourself. The money's there. I sell Noonday to help with it. I'm doing a Noonday show right now online. I got my Victoria necklace on, made in Uganda. Got some bracelets. That's actually, the Hope bracelet's actually a different organization for trafficking victims, but these are my glass bracelets, pearlescent bracelets for Noonday. So yeah, if you want to hide behind cost and say, oh, we can't adopt because we can't afford it, then you can keep telling yourself that lie, but I'm not going to tell it to you because that's not true. So if you have room in your house and in your life for another kid and money's in a barrier for you, then just reach out, email me, call me, or reach out on Facebook, reach out somewhere. We're everywhere. We're on Instagram. I have an email, adopt100more@gmail.com. That's ADOPT 100, the number 100 more, MORE, @gmail.com. I'll give you all the answers you need. Let's see, what else? I'm literally hiding from laundry right now. I'd rather stand here in my garage and stare at this monstrosity than I would rather go inside and face laundry, because I'm doing laundry and packing at the same time. And the packing thing, like I was at work last night waiting on some test results, ready to discharge some patients, kind of winding down my night, and had this wave of like complete and utter panic. Like, we're going to cross the ocean. We're taking our kids. We may not get any results that we need over there. We may just come home completely empty-handed and just emotionally devastated. We are in over our heads. Like, I went down this dark road for like a whole 2 minutes, and I was like, oh. And then I was like, you got to get outside your own head for a second. I was just bored at work, just waiting on stuff, nothing else to do. So I checked in on the Noonday show that I had going for the Whitney family, and like, people are already killing it, like begging me for shopping links. So like, where do we shop? And so we had purchases last night. I'd had this show going for like 12 hours or less, and people were so excited to purchase Noonday and support a little boy who's halfway through with his Liberian adoption. His family needs to go back and get him. So that lifted me from my place of panic. Thank you. If you've been down the road that I'm going down and you're like, what are you doing? You know that it's hard. Most people have not been down the road that I'm about to go down by traveling internationally with my entire family and praying for a miracle of paperwork that's not there yet and not even close. So it's a lot, but it's gonna be good. And no matter what, the reason that my kids, well, if there is a reason that my kids don't get to come home this year or this trip or this even month. Well, not January, but February coming up. That reason is not me. It's just not me. It's not because of my lack of effort. It's not because of my lack of availability. It's not because God doesn't care. It's not because of any of that. It's because there are people that would rather keep kids as orphans as long as possible and hurt them as much as they possibly can, than let them free. To be in a family and to be who they should be, and to not live under the stress of the unknown, and likelihood of poverty, disease, and death. And it's not me. But I am all in, and we'll keep continuing to try to move those barriers as much as we can. Thank you for your help. Thank you for your encouragement. Thank you for watching the videos. Thank you for looking at my garage with me. And I'm looking over there at pieces of my kid's bed. Jeremy was trying to build them like this really cool loft bed thing, and we had a vision, and then he was trying to rush at the end, and I was like, listen, this isn't going to work. We're going to have to repaint this. I don't like it. It's not going to last, blah, blah, blah. So we had this big argument about a bunk bed, which now I don't regret, like, that I didn't want to put something together we'd have to take apart after we have 5 kids living here. But the bunk bed seems pretty trivial compared to the rest of the crap that we're about to face. But that's okay. It's gonna be good. That's all I have for today. Bye.